Hi everyone, welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Christian Bible. I use the King James Version of the Bible to put together the book of Zion, which is written completely in Bible text. The Pot Smoker's Bible is the commentary to that text. If you want to view the published version of the book of the Pot Smoker's Bible and Book of Zion, you can find it on YouTube. Just look for Pot Smoker's Bible. The entire book is published in that form. It is free of charge. I'm not asking for any money because I don't care about money. It's not why I'm doing it. But I'm doing this because I want to help you end your pain and suffering. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, in my prior in this last series of segments, I've been dealing with mental health and how we will address that issue in Zion with a new form of therapy called scream therapy. And scream therapy is based on a combination of psychiatry, Dianetics from Scientology, and spiritualism. The use of empaths, mediums, and channels in order to facilitate the healing process as laid out by Dianetics. I am not endorsing Scientology. Do not confuse Dianetics with Scientology. It's two different things. Dianetics was a gift given to L. Ron Hubbard, who was supposed to give it to the world, particularly to the psychiatrists. They were the ones that it was intended for. But he used it to create a religion that subverted the beautiful thing that is Dianetics and made it into something ugly and abusive. If you're a Scientologist, come to Zion. We will deprogram you the same way you were programmed through Dianetics. You know how it works. So, you should be able to recognize within yourself what they've done to you. So I'm going to tell you what Dianetics teaches and how it can help you go through the healing process and undo all of the damage that this society has allowed you to suffer. So, I'm going to tell you how this works. I suggest every psychologist, sociologist, that whole profession, read Dianetics. It really, really makes a lot of sense. I know I'm not a psychologist. I have not studied psychiatry. I have no degrees. I only have personal experience to go by. But I have read up on Jung and Freud. I know the analytical thoughts process that they used to create your profession. And it was only half of the picture. Now, they were Zionites. They used drugs. And having used drugs, they innately were connected to this. So they didn't get that far into psychiatry before their lifespan was over. That was the beginning. And we didn't get the second part of the puzzle until Dianetics came along. And Dianetics teaches you how psychiatry should be used to facilitate real healing. And with the addition of the spiritual side of things, your spirit's what's hurting. If you don't address your spirit, how can you heal it? So, I'm going to tell you how the process works, how Dianetics teaches you that it works. And I wouldn't be endorsing it if I hadn't already gone through the process prior to reading the book. It was like when I read that book, I'm like, damn, I did that. Really? That's exactly what happened when I started this. Oh, wow. I'd already been there, I'd already done that. I knew it was real because I'd already experienced it. And that knowledge and that process that I went through came from God, as did Dianetics. So, this is how it works. You have two parts of your brain: the thought process, your analytical side, the front of your brain, your cerebral cortex. It's like, I'm not going to get into the neurology, okay? So, anyway, your frontal lobe, whatever, the thinking part. That's only half your brain. Your other half is subconscious. It records everything that happens to you in little snapshots of time. So consider your memories to be downloaded files. And your subconscious is the little people in your head keeping track of everything. You know that movie? Okay. It's kind of like how the back of your head works. They have all these little images of time embedded with emotional energy, visual energy, audio energy. Everything everything that you experienced in every moment of your life is recorded by your memories in little snapshots, little rolls of film that's always running. Your subconscious goes through all that, sorts it out, puts all the good memories over here and all the bad memories over here. And they set a map of you. And when bad things happen to you, they look at every aspect of what happened, every detail. And they cross-reference that to every other bad thing that ever happened to you. They don't have to do that for the good side, because the good side is not a problem. But the bad side is a problem. So they analyze it, and they put it in categories, and they look for common denominators. And if there's too many common denominators in any situation in your present life, it's like, red flag, oh my God, something's bad. Something bad's going to happen because blah, 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 blah is all together in that. And every time that happens, this happens. That is where trauma comes from. And it's all has to do with this emotional energy that's embedded in the memory that happened at the moment that you were hurt. And everything associated with that. So, if somebody hurt you in a red room with a black chair, red and black are going to be two colors you don't like. Chairs are going to have a problem. Well, anything in that room could be a red flag. If those things are present when you consistently have a problem. Through the process of scream therapy, we analyze your memories and all those red flags, and then we deprogram them. We let you express the emotional energy bound in that moment and associated with those objects or with those people or with those circumstances. And piece by piece, we take apart your problem, little bits at a time, little things at a time. Because it's not one thing that causes you trauma. It's the combination of things in particular configurations that your brain has a problem with because you've been hurt. Something happened when those things came together. And unless you can figure out what those things are, because every time those things come together, whether you're in danger or not, whether you're having a problem or not, your brain is going to be red flagging it. It's going to be saying, watch out, be careful, oh no. That's where panic comes from. That's where anger comes from. That's where those spontaneous emotions that you don't understand come from. It comes from all those combinations of things in your brain. So, we take you from today's trauma, the thing that happened to you today that caused you a problem, or the most recent thing. And then we analyze that moment and we compare it to these other moments. And when we find the combination of things that bother you, they're just things. But if your brain sees too many of them together, it's going to cause you a problem. So if we figure out that a red chair causes you a problem, and we figure out what made that red chair cause you a problem, and we deal with the emotional trauma that was set in place at the time when that red chair was present, we deprogram your red chair and every danger and bad emotion associated with it. And it unravels your emotions, lets you feel them, releases that energy from that snapshot in time. And the wonderful thing about this process is that the red chair that you saw today is in all of these different traumatic times in your life, all the way back to that first time that it was there. And when you start dealing with the red chair today, in this moment, you're going to unwind all of that trail of pain and suffering all the way back to the real time it hurt you. And when you realize it's a red chair that's causing you to feel uncomfortable, and you realize why that red chair causes you to be uncomfortable, and you undo the damage that happened when that red chair was present, the red chair becomes a red chair. And you can walk into the room with the red chair and never have a problem with the red chair again. Because you understand here, not here. You understand here that it's no longer emotionally bound to that pain. And when you start this process, when you look at today's memory and you undo the damage that you feel now, it breaks down that whole chain, the whole cycle of suffering that you've been bound to for so long. And when you get rid of the red chair, then you understand that the foot's still associated with it. And then it's easier to undo the footstool because you already undid the red chair. And so you unravel the fabric of your suffering. And you keep, and once it's like you take a piece of fabric and you cut the edge. It all unravels at the same time. You don't have to unravel each individual thing. You have to start the process. Once you start the process, it's going to naturally unwind itself for each individual trauma. So if you've been raped and you've been beat, you have to deal with the rape trauma and you have to deal with the beating trauma. So there's different categories of trauma that you have to deal with. But once you start this process, it all comes together and works together to unwind your suffering. And ta-da, one day you stop crying and you start to laugh. You find your joy. And you did it by taking that first step, cutting the wall that you put up between you and your emotions. Because that's the edge of your fabric, is that boundary you put up there to stop you from having to deal with the trauma. You still feel the pain. The pain can't be. The pain goes right through that wall. But you still have all this crap that you can't get to because you got a wall there. And you put that wall up yourself. So we break down the wall and then it unravels. And you're healed. That's how it works. So may the great watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May they teach you right from wrong. And may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy, people. Feel your joy. Be the joy and spread the joy. But do it the right way. Undo your pain so you can feel it. Okay? Stay happy and high if you do drugs, because you got every right and reason to. I'm here to tell you that. I love you, all of you. Later. I'll never say goodbye.